So since this Arsenal loss, I have been hearing some Madrid fans say that Kylian Mbappé is the cause for us losing this match. And not just for losing the match, but overall the team's performance for this entire season. And the thing is, you will hear that statement and you will think that is correct. You would think, sure, if you look at it from an outside point of view, you're looking at how the team played in 2023/24, in which the team was insanely good. You put Mbappé into the mix, things had to change, and since then, we have not been the same team as in 2023/24. But you see, the thing is, I would agree with that if I didn't see the other perspective. The other perspective being the fact that football evolves. Football evolves, teams get better, the rivals get better, and opposing teams become better. So if you are just standing still, you're adding no additions to the team, and you play the same system, guess what? There's also a thing called form. And I think form is the problem in this current team. The players are not as good as they were last season. So football does not work like that. Teams don't just suddenly, they do one change and the entire team starts to fail. I don't think that is it. I think these players are just in poor form. And to blame Kylian Mbappé is genuinely low IQ. Because if you look at his goals, this guy has about 34 goals in the season so far. Now the thing is, I've also heard the arguments that goals can hurt a team. That is an argument that I recently heard about 2 years ago from ESPN, and I guess it does make sense to a point. But Kylian Mbappe's goals did good for us. It did good for us. You can look at the Manchester City match. He scored a hat-trick, a fantastic performance. But you see, form is what stopped the team from performing against Arsenal. And you pair that with the fact that Arsenal also had a better system, played better football. Their players understood the assignment, they did their job, and therefore they beat Real Madrid in not one leg, but 2 legs. Now let me tell you where I do understand the take that Kylian Mbappé ruined Real Madrid. When you take that first half of the season into account, you saw Mbappé and he was not in good form. He was starting games, but he was playing poorly, game in, game out, and he genuinely was not improving the team. But the thing is, Real Madrid kept on playing him, Carlo kept on playing him until he would reach his proper form. And then when it did happen, it worked for a small bit, but then he dropped in form again. And once he dropped in form, the team was again playing poorly. And one thing we do know about Mbappé, whenever he is in good form, then his teammate Vini Jr is in poor form. And when Vini Jr is in good form, Kylian Mbappé is in poor form. Have we ever seen a game where both of them played good and the both of them were excellent? You can't name one game, and that is a serious problem that I don't even think a new manager could solve. Maybe if we have the correct manager, maybe a Xabi Alonso, maybe a Jurgen Klopp. But from Ancelotti, who is one of the greatest coaches of all time, the fact that he struggled to get the best out of the both of them at the exact same time tells me that these two just don't match up in a team. They don't seem to play good together. And that's because of the obvious, the obvious things that we've heard over and over and over and over and over. They work in the same spaces. That is the most common thing people say about them. They work in the same spaces, both left wingers. So how do they actually end up playing good if they have to share that same spaces? People have even said Kylian Mbappé at striker has not been too good. And I will kind of agree, but he has also done some good things in that position. The problem with him though is that he's not a proper 9. He's not a proper striker. He is more of what Messi was to Barcelona in the 2010s, in which Messi was played as a centre forward, but he was not tall. He did not have any striker qualities, no number 9 qualities. He was not Harry Kane. He was not Romelu Lukaku. He was not Lewandowski. He was a short player, but he would use a lot of spaces there in the midfield, and he would have a lot of freedom in his position. Kylian Mbappé, when you look at how he plays, he does the same thing. He has a lot of freedom. You will catch him even in the defense sometimes. He is so free roaming, it's insane. Now you see, football evolves. Football evolves and those things don't tend to work anymore in the next generation. Because that tactics of having a center forward like a Messi, like a Kylian Mbappé, that formula does not work so well in this current state. In the current state of football, it clearly doesn't work. We saw the team was against Real Madrid, Arsenal. They played with Mikel Merino as the striker. And the thing is, he's a midfielder, but he's tall. He is tall and that is the main thing. He offers that number 9 things. And that's what Mbappe is not. He's not a proper 9. And that's why selling Hasselu was the first big mistake. The second big mistake was not signing a striker similar to Hasselu. And you know the thing that is so funny to me is that people will look at the squad. They will look at one piece of the puzzle and they will look at one piece of the puzzle that's not working. And they suddenly don't look around and notice that Toni Kroos isn't in our team anymore. When Toni Kroos was there, we were playing our best football. And the people are blaming Mbappe, but they don't realize that Toni Kroos retired and is not anymore in the team. And guess what? They tried to replace him. They tried to replace him with Dani Ceballos, but the magic just is not there. There is no Toni Kroos type of player. He was no doubt one of the most important players for us in the 2023/24 season. But you know, the fans will only focus on the one thing because it's the most popular thing to say. It is the most controversial and maybe it's the most triggering thing that they can say, which is blame Kylian Mbappe, even though he is not full on the main problem. Okay, so one thing that I forgot to mention in the video is that you guys should not compare Kylian Mbappe to Cristiano. And I know you guys are gonna say Cristiano did not disappoint on these European nights. However, I would disagree. Look at 2012 against Bayern Munich. Look at 2013 against Borussia Dortmund. Those were matches that Cristiano, he did score in, but he did not take us all the way to win these matches. So for those critiquing Kylian Mbappe on his first season, nah, you can't do that. You seriously, I think it's way too soon. Give him maybe next season before you make a fully fledged judging on this player. So is Kylian Mbappe the problem? Is he the thing that ruined Real Madrid in this season? I'm going to say simply, no. He is not the problem, matter of fact. He has been quite good. He has been a great addition to the team. It just depends on next season, on how the next manager is going to handle all of this. How is he going to fix these problems in attack? And not just in attack, even in the midfield. So that is my thoughts on the situation. Tell me there in the comment section what your thoughts are. Do you agree with what I say? Or do you have your own opinion? And if you do, share it there in the comment section. I'd truly love to see it. But smash like, subscribe, turn on notifications. Peace.